Do you love open world video games like Grand Theft Auto? Then Just Cause is for you. Released in 2006 by Swedish developer Avalanche Studios and published by IDOS Interactive. It was released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 2, Xbox, and the Xbox 360. Some key features of the game include skydiving, base jumping, and parasailing.
Alright, I can do this. Oh shit!
You can also perform stunts on cars in which you can stand on the roof and jump to other cars, or choose to open your parachute while still in motion on the roof. It's pretty freaking sweet. Players can take control of a variety of vehicles including cars, boats, fixed-wing aircrafts, helicopters, and motorcycles. You have 21 story missions and over 300 side missions to complete, so hours of gameplay to be had. Originally, Rico Rodriguez was a tattooed guy with dreadlocks, but the focused testing group showed that players wanted a more handsome hero. Who's to say a tattooed dreadlock guy can't be handsome? Well, anyway, there are over 10 million trees in this game, and I can definitely see that. They're everywhere. One really crazy thing is that the Xbox 360 version was made in 6 months and was approved in the first submission. And surprisingly, there really isn't any bugs. Well, no more than usual in a massive open world game. All versions actually have about equal bugs. Reviews for the game are generally mixed, mostly average. The highest rated was 93% for the PC version by PC Gamer US, and the lowest score was 4 from the official PlayStation magazine for the Xbox version. No, I'm only kidding. It was actually for the PlayStation 2 port. You know a PS2 game is bad when the official PlayStation 2 magazine gives it a bad score. With that being said, take a look at the audio differences between the PS2 and PC.
You guys really want to play with me?
It's pretty crazy. Time to compare the graphics. This is the very first frame of gameplay. The Xbox, you're in a T-pose. In the PS2, you're way at the bottom and then in a standing pose to a free fall. Let's address the elephant in the room. The PlayStation 2 looks really bad in comparison to the Xbox. The texture on the shirt is gone and the draw distance isn't good at all. On the Xbox, you can see the bridge, and not on the PS2. Same with these cool looking clouds, non-existent over here. Getting a little bit closer, look at the lack of detail on the island on the PlayStation. Not very good at all. Also, everything's a lot more green, and no water reflection of the mountain like on the Xbox. Moving even closer, you get this cool water splashing effect on the sand on the Xbox, but not on the PS2. Well, you kinda do once you basically land on the ground, but it's still very faint. The combat feels exactly the same, and it's actually really fun on both. But look at the sand, very bland on the PS2. The scenery, however, has gotten a lot better. The PlayStation 2 has no clouds, just a plain old blue sky. Some cool flowers over here, and the mountains over here just look like a stretched out texture. The roof on the PS2 actually looks better, it's a lot sharper. The draw distance isn't half bad either. You can clearly see everything in the distance, just a dull sky. Same with the shirt, zero texture. I know I said that before, but this is a closer look. Let's compare Xbox 360 and PC up to this point, and then we'll do all four. This is the very first frame on the 360 and Windows. Only showing this because I did it for the Xbox and PS2. These two are very close. The 360 is showing more clarity overall, and I think the PC is going for a hazy background on purpose though. More translucent clouds. The 360 is also doing more contrast in the main character Rico. I do see more fine detail on PC, like in the sand here and the foliage, whereas on the Xbox the trees seem a lot thicker and the sand is green from this distance. Getting closer, the PC is winning on this one. The mountain and trees look more realistic. The Xbox is very Fortnite looking at the moment. Also over here, the reflection of the mountain is nice with the ripple effect of the water. The 360 doesn't offer ripples until much closer. The combat feels awesome and fun, exactly the same as the Xbox and PS2. The sand is hard to decide which looks better. I do like both. I like the depth of the 360 sand where you can see tiny sand dunes. In the PC I like the simplicity of it and the very fine detail of the sand grains. Which do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. The 360 has a nice flow of trees, but the way they are placed on the mountain is very poor. They look like they're floating. The texture on the mountain is nice though. Okay, check this out. I absolutely love the Xbox 360's sunlight shining through the clouds. It looks very nice. Other than that, they both look very similar. The net texture on Rico's back is better on the PC though. Alright, we made it. Now let's bring in all four. Looking at all four, it looks like the PC is a port of the Xbox, or the Xbox is a port of the PC, because the street and color palette of the mountain and the trees all look the same. I mean, they do look exactly the same, just a lot more blurry on the Xbox. The PS2 and 360 seem to be their own little port. The road on the PlayStation 2 is darker and blocky, but it does look like a nice road. The 360's road looks the best, I think. Look, I found a cloud on the PS2, and it's the only cloud I've ever found. On the 360, you fight a helicopter very early on, where on the other three, you do not. Something I forgot to mention, the PS2 and Xbox do not have any shadows, only the 360 and PC do. While we're on the screen, the PS2 and 360 are the only two without tire skid marks. The 360 opted for a huge red barrel to blow up versus the tiny ones on the other three. I assume because most people didn't see that, or they didn't know you could blow these type of things up this early on in the game. In the same scene, the PlayStation 2 is the only one without yellow barrels and a street light. This is the first time the Windows, OG Xbox, and PS2 fight a helicopter. Then the 360 gets another helicopter when the other three do not. And yet again, another helicopter on the 360. Then they all get a chopper, and then they all get a chopper again. So that's 6 helicopters on the 360 and 3 on the others. The Xbox 360 has enhanced their explosions as well. They add this cool ripple effect. I really like it. The bullets look great here and here. The boxes too. Not so bad here, but super bad here. Here there's some shadows on the 360 and PC, and like I said before, not present on the other two. The Windows trees offer more leaves. The PS2 has just big, fat, blurry crap. Another thing the Xbox 360 did is add more greenery to the game. If you look here, the floor offers more lush greens. They did this throughout the game. I also really like the lighting effects here on the 360 versus the PC. A very nice improvement. The PS2 is just so dull and bad. PC and 360 has the headlights on the bike, and again with more green floor on the Xbox 360. I will say it is an amazing thing to fit this game on a PS2, and it plays extremely well. I didn't really encounter any slowdowns. It just looks terrible in comparison to the other three, but it's still extremely fun to play. The original Xbox looks good, and I honestly can't decide if the PC or the Xbox 360 looks best. It's pretty hard to pick, but I'd say play either of those two and you're in for a great time. The 360 did add a whole bunch more enhancements though, so maybe play that one. Oh, and it's also backwards compatible with Xbox One now. Well, that's all I have for you today, so leave me a comment, subscribe, hit the like button, share this video, and as always, take it easy.